The ICC General Assembly 2014 in Nunavut brought together Inuit from Alaska, Greenland, Canada, and Russia under the call of Ukiuktaktumi Hivinuktingnun, One Arctic, One Future. My role as the President of the Inuit Circumpolar Council Canada, I represent all of the Canadian Inuit internationally. I'm also the Vice Chair of ICC itself. The previous chairmanship was facilitated by ICC Greenland, and the chair at that time was Akluklingi. Now the chair has rotated over to Canada, so Canada facilitates the office of the chair, and that person is Okluk Igisiak. This may be the most important GA yet, as many countries and industry look north for new opportunities of energy, shipping, resources, and as our communities face unprecedented health and wellness challenges, including increasing rates of chronic disease, food insecurity, and mental health. At the General Assembly, we addressed and heard open, frank, and meaningful deliberations on these crucial issues amongst Inuit leaders, leading to the adoption of the Inuvik Kitikariwit Declaration. The declaration charts a course for the next 4 years, a course that will steer us through both the challenges of this rapidly and unpredictably changing Arctic, and as importantly, position our communities, our youth, and our culture to take advantage of opportunities in our changing Arctic. The ICC is all Inuit. It is you. The Executive Council needs your support, your expertise in your respective fields, such as when harvesters contribute their knowledge to their regional bodies, which in turn allows us to express the rights and the positions of Inuit on harvesting issues at the broader national and international levels. My hometown, Inuvik, a place of incredible diversity from the Mackenzie River, Canada's largest freshwater delta, to the Arctic Ocean, from the mountains to our west, to the tundra to our east, and the Beaufort north of us. Inuit are as diverse from Greenland to Chukotka, from Alaska to the Canadian Arctic. We are one Arctic, and together we help forge one future for our people. Together we forge new partnerships, new innovative ways to meet the challenges and embrace the opportunities before us. To all who make it so, Ariga Kuyanak.
We welcomed the people by drum dancing at the airport, and it just gave us unity, just like we belong to one another when they see us drum dancing, and us too, like we welcome them, just like bringing them into our community with our songs, and it just felt so good. They were even drum dancing when they came out the door. They started dancing, they started angayuing. Everybody was just excited.
Canadian North was one of our biggest in kind. The ICC Alaska ended up chartering one of their planes and ended up bringing 130 people over from Anchorage. It was great to see that one of our own company was involved in a major way.
That was even throat clenching. Your heart is bursting. It was amazing because a lot of them are our relatives, and even if a relative hadn't met another relative from there before, the anticipation inside you is like, we're gonna meet. We might meet some of our relatives. And that's an uncontrollable energy, because when you do actually find somebody that you're related to, it's a feeling like no other. It's amazing. It makes your day. It completes a little bit, I guess, of who you are, and makes it fit together and say, yeah, I love it. I love them. It's a love that's already there, but then you get to actually show it to somebody, which makes a difference. That was one of the highlights of the whole week, was actually being able to connect with your family and say, I'm so glad you're here, and you're here for a week, and you're going to share with us. Amazing experience.
Hello, my name is Carol Airy, originally from Aklavik, moved over to Kaktovik, Alaska in November of 2013. We actually came up through the Inuit Circumpolar Conference to perform as the Kuniyuk sing-along group from Kaktovik, so I'm a part of that now and enjoying every minute of being home at this time. It was an enjoyable time to have everybody come up and sing together. Just having everybody together again, which is not very often now. We enjoyed every bit of it. Probably the most awesome thing when you're with everybody, and I got to sing with the Aklavik drum dance group the other day, which I haven't done since last year, I think it was, so I enjoyed that as well. I think you can hear it in my voice.
Good morning. I would like to call to order the 12th Inuit Circumpolar Council General Assembly here in Inuit, Canada. And I would like to formally commence this event introducing the theme, which is One Arctic, One Future.
Unity amongst Inuit is crucial, even more crucial at this time, primarily because of the changing Arctic, the changing conditions, and we have one future in front of us, and we have to deal with that in a unified fashion.
We must look to each other for the strength to build the Arctic that we see as a vision for Inuit One Arctic, One Future has always been the theme for all the working relationships that we've had right from the beginning. One Arctic, One Future is how do we work together to do a long-term investment and a long-term responsibility towards looking after our homeland.
ICC has been around since the late 70s when the leadership in the past got together to discuss issues that were beginning to affect Inuit within their respective regions, and they wanted to develop a stronger collective voice to express Inuit views and rights.
I would now like to welcome all of you to the conference, which is finally an actuality.
Even though maybe the pressure is not so far on today, but in 50 years, 60 years, they saw that the change is coming. So it was to bring strength and unity for all Inuit, so that when you had to speak, that you could speak for all.
It is no longer a tolerable situation for those of us who are in the North to accept some program from abroad.
We've been working on this for many years. I mean, it's not one conference to another. It has always been an ongoing, continuous building of this relationship. At this conference, you really felt that there were a lot of people that were really tied in completely to try to continue to make the process fulfill itself. Each region brings forward their specific areas of importance. The message has to be clear to get the message out to the broader world, where there are discussions on many issues like global warming and issues that affect us.
Resource development, infrastructure, satellite surveillance, and especially health and social issues are areas that need broader international cooperation.
There's a lot of commonality of interest, so the declaration, Kittigashu Declaration, has the voice of everyone in the document. It's different countries, but it's really one people. And no matter what happens in the future, politicians and larger country initiatives come and go. But the Inuit are always going to be there. They have always been there, and they will always continue to be there. And so we have to build a real strong relationship so we have a consistent message to others who have other interests in the Arctic.
It is apparent that ICC is the only organization where Inuit voice is heard as a strong message, which influences the decisions of governments, businesses, industry, academia, etc.
The assemblies itself now take place every 4 years.
We were scheduled to have the Circumpolar Council General Assembly in Nain, Labrador. It was their turn to have it. And as you know, Nain, Labrador had their claim settled about 5 years ago and had to do a lot of work on infrastructure. So their plans didn't come through. As any place in the Arctic, when you're putting in infrastructure such as schools or new buildings, large buildings, it takes a lot longer. So because we had done the Resolution Health Support General Assembly here, which had approximately 1,000 people, and then also in '92 we had hosted the Circumpolar General Assembly, we felt, it was everyone looked around and say who could best do the job, and so we volunteered. When we have to sit down and say, are we going to take on this responsibility as an organization, we begin to think about all the different responsibilities that are going to come on us to make this a 5-star gathering, and that's what we always try to do. So in this regard, it's important to note that it was a difficult situation because we didn't know until May of last year that we would have to get going and take on the responsibility. So that was a big job in itself because money hadn't been raised.
When we looked at the work plan, we knew that our priority was fundraising because we had nothing. and we had to start from somewhere. I actually was the original conference coordinator for the 1992 General Assembly here in Inuvik. I had about close to 2 years to organize that one. This one, I had maybe 10 months.
It required a lot of organization to get the number of volunteers we required, get everybody in town on side, and then talk to all the different governments and Aboriginal institutions on what they can do to help support us, including our partners with the industry as well.
In 1992, costs collectively between ICC Canada and ourselves, just over $1 million. For 2014, our combined budget was $2 million, and we had to raise $1.35 million for the local aspect. So when you start looking at it, yes, it was 22 years ago and prices have doubled, but still, when you look at it, it was the same amount of work and everything else too.
Just by the fact that everything happened at once, we could say we magically put all this thing together, but that wasn't so at all. Okay, we'll take on the Circumpolar Conference, and we'll also make sure that we do the very strong cultural component of it, with traditional games and all the things that go around that. And we had the 30th anniversary. So it wasn't, like a grandiose, unethical plan, It was just things happened, and I believe it happened for a right reason. It was time for people to come together at this particular time.
I was approached to do some translating, interpreting for ICC conference here in Inuvik, and I accepted about 2-3 minutes later. From 8:30, 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 6 p.m. Sometimes there is 2 people in each booth, so we take turns to take pressure off sometimes from each other, because your mind is going so many miles per hour and you're trying to do the best you can to get the message out to the people. We're translating from English to Inuit Naktur. Every language that's in the booths is speaking for their region. There's Russian, Greenlandic, Yupik, Inupiat, Inuvialuit, Inuit. We have been talking with one another, of course, because as Inuit, we're open to people. Like any other culture, we're open to be able to communicate with others. Sometimes we just acknowledge each other if we have to, and if they're busy, we take time out to share with one another. You try to accommodate people the best you can. That's the quality that we try to carry as translator interpreters.
I enjoyed it because that's what I had to pass on to the people that couldn't understand what the others are saying in English to Inuvialuktun. The topics of Inuit is always there. They're always worried about their health and children, education, and how they're being treated by other people in the workplaces. Those are the top priorities they had.
The important thing, too, is that, you can talk about in the Declaration the real tragic issues that we have and wanting to fix it. But the good part of this type of a gathering, when you're doing that, people see the better part of life as well. They're celebrating the better part of life, but they don't ignore the fact that we have to resolve a lot of issues, and they're very serious issues. But as Inuit, generally, I think, to always seem to say, well, everything is manageable, given that, and given that, that you put your effort into it.
It's not all about the politics of it. It's very crucial that we get together and share our culture The drum dancing, every time I hear that, it sends a shiver up my spine, and I think it does that to a lot of people. I'm very passionate about it, so even though I don't actively participate, it's a very strong part I see as my identity.
My name is Leif Sundvig Emanuelsen. I'm from Nuuk, Greenland, and I'm one of the delegation as chairman for the Greenlandic Artists Association. In Greenlandic culture, the missionary Hans Ege came to our country in 1721, and after he began to shut down the drumming because maybe he's thinking the shamans contact the devil with the drum, so he shut down in drumming, all the drumming in the western part of Greenland. But we were so lucky to have Qaanaaq, North Greenland and East Greenland. They keep their drumming and they keep the traditional from 4,000 years ago. We are now complete in our country, so I'm very happy for that. I'm one of them. I'm one of them who has used my time to tell the children in schools and all the students to make sure that they also can hear about our own culture. So I'm very happy man today.
My name is Jackie Lambert, and I am Inupiaq Eskimo from the Northwest Arctic region of Alaska. We're the Kikik-Tuggeruk Northern Lights dancers. Kikik-Tuggeruk is the name of our hometown where we're based out of in Kotzebue. The translation for Kikik-Tuggeruk, it means almost an island. So we're basically like a gravel spit, right on a Kotzebue Sound off of the Chukchi Sea. All of us here, it's pretty much this group is like a 10-year reunion. When we were planning to come and everything, we couldn't have consistent practices just because we're like, oh, this person's living there, and we didn't have the money to send them to Kotzebue. And so the group just winged it. We had to add a lot of practice, but everyone still knew like their songs. Reggie Jewell the third, it was the Fat Man dance. Yeah, so doing that Fat Man dance, like that's what everyone knows him as, and building up to it, I wasn't sure how it would go. And so I was just like so amazed at how everyone just pulled together, and we're just gonna do it. I really enjoyed it because, we tried to do a lot of humor. I cannot express enough how awesome they are. I was just there to just perform with them, just to join with them. So it's really a lot of how it went down last night is that was really a lot of their own work and their own knowledge.
we're very fortunate. We have a very strong group of people with the Northern Games or traditional games, and they're always there, you know, and they knew what they wanted to do, and they were going to put their best efforts forward, and people were excited about it.
I always like to encourage the athletes, whether they be the youth or whether they be the more mature athletes, to do their best.
That's the way we were taught, you know, when the elders came and they showed us these games, how to do them, you know. They encouraged us. They encouraged us to go higher or try harder. They didn't say, oh, you lost them. Things like, there was nothing negative about our games. Everything was positive, you know. They wanted us to continue to do better. There's a lot of the athletes that, you know, in any sporting event, they want to get into it and they want to win. That's why we have people like us to sort of be there for them, you know. We don't want you to get serious with the game. We don't want you to say you're going to win and all that. You know, it's nothing like that with our games. You know, we're competing to showcase our games to the people that are there. You know?
It's about walking away, you know, having with success. You want to get them back and say, okay, I can do better. It's all about personal best.
In addition to the Northern Games, we also had some other activities that were surrounded, like Oceans Day, because it was programmed. So, you know, we had to make sure that we had everybody in town on side, and we had excellent support. It was an excitement that was created here, and people were very happy to volunteer. We had many, many volunteers. There was a place for anybody who wanted to do something.
Everywhere I went in Inuvik, people were smiling and waving and saying hello, and it's just very welcoming, and that's a part of our culture. More ambassadors for the Inuvialuit, I think. I work in Yellowknife, and my sister had told me about, I knew ICC was coming, and she had said, they're looking for volunteers, and so I jumped at the opportunity.
I was in part of the 1992 Circumpolar Conference. I participated by volunteering then, and then when it came on again, I was like all excited, thinking I'm going to do it again because I enjoyed myself so much the last time. All the cultural activities, all the people, and I have a lot of relatives that came from Alaska, so I get to see them again, and so it's a really great time, good friendships renewed, and then meeting new people and meeting all my relatives again. So.
And the country foods. I've been going to the park, and I think the first day I had 2 bowls of muktak, and since then I've been going and having a bowl of muktak every day. So to me that's really great.
Part of the fun is eating. Big time.
Yeah.
Granny Jean Airy and Tom Airy Sr. are grandparents, and they were my granny especially was involved in the drum dancing, so we got up there and tried to drum dance, and I know she would have been proud.
There's this sense of like this collective belonging. The drum is in all of us. It's been removed for a lot of us for centuries, and it's like the heartbeat. And I think that's what I feel when I'm drum dancing. I was always afraid I would be doing it wrong. And someone says, just pick, someone there said, just pick your own and just dance. And so that's what I started doing.
Feel the drum.
And I felt it, in my heart, and it was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working in the registration, getting the rooms ready. It's been busy. We have quite a few people coming in.
And why did you volunteer?
Just to meet all of the different delegates from the different countries.
Really it is, and we get to learn about some of their culture.
This artwork is from Chukotka, Russia, and they needed someone to sit here to sell their beautiful work. The beadwork is really, really nice.
How has business been?
Busy.
Busy.
Looking at their different covers and everything in their clothing, it's similar, but it's not the same. But it's a little different, but we're still all the same. Sure, we're all from different cultures and different backgrounds, but then we're all the same as well.
When you look at the agenda and all the different groups, countries, you can see they're all working to achieve the same goal, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
What have you really been enjoying in the ICC so far?
The cultural activities, all the different dances. They're all really proud of our own Mackenzie Delta group as well. You're proud of who you are and where you come from.
For me to be prepared to get the jobs done was we started at 10 o'clock in the morning approximately. We went late into the evening, and we were always trying to be prepared a day in advance. And there was a lot of performers, there was a lot of drummers, there was, the Northern Games was going on at the same time during the morning and in the afternoon, and on the same stage as the entertainment. A little bit of a challenge for me to work around, and for the most part, a lot of the musicians were really happy. At the end of their program, they were just happy and excited that it went really well for them, and which is good for me because I was happy for them. I was actually more fortunate because I'm a musician. I was actually asked to play with some of the out-of-town entertainers that had come to town. They came in as single acts, but formed little groups in Inuvik. We didn't even know some of these guys I'd never met before, of course, and I never saw them before, never heard their music before, but they saw me play at the opening ceremonies with Louis Goose and his daughter, and then after seeing me play, they asked if I would come play with them because they didn't have a drummer. It all fell together so well, and it was just like we played together forever. And even those musicians that I played with and I never met before, they come up to me after it was over and they said, "Man, it's really neat to play with you." We clicked, and it was good. It was a good feeling on stage, and it was just, you can't beat that.
3, 2, 1.
When I'm performing, I like to have fun. Get into the crowd and be like, just start rocking out with my crowd and getting them loud.
Again, this one's for the youth.
It's hard being in an isolated community, especially if you've been traumatized as a child. You still have hope, even though there are times when you feel in a dark corner, you still have so much potential ahead of you. And if you're going through a rough time, just get through it, because there's still hope out there. And I trust that you will see brighter days again if you are in your darker days at this present moment. Be strong with yourself.
Make some noise for yourselves. You guys are a great, great crowd.
If I could give a child one gift, if I could leave something with them, and if I could make a dream come true, it would be to let the youth love their self. If I could give you something, it would be love from you to yourself. And I think a lot of Inuit just need to love themselves a little bit more and be more grateful for the things they have. And you do have a lot. If you have nothing, you still have the land, you still have Inuit around you, you still have family, and you still have your culture, which is very strong. You just have to discover it and be very honest with your culture and yourself as an individual.
This next song that I'm going to play is dedicated to those of you who have lost someone very close to you, those of you who are left with a void, and those of you who do need some support. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, the support is out there, you just have to seek it.
I'm trying my best to reach out and speak my culture and be strong as an individual.
And I didn't say that I'm going to give up just because I lost a friend. I told myself that I'm going to push for my dream and achieve something because I have heart. I know who I am and I know where I'm from. And it's important to know who you are and where you're from.
I mean, it means a lot to me to share these messages.
I want to hear you guys say, I believe, on 3, 2, 1. I believe. And I believe in every one of you too. Thank you guys for coming to my show tonight. Thank you guys so much. And enjoy the rest of the night. I love you guys. Have a good night.
I can say that we got a little bit the problem because the other delegations, they brought their own performers, but we didn't have enough money to bring the performers. So we will try to give the people what we can sing and dance. Yeah.
My name is Dasha Shakov, and I'm from ICC Canada. I'm just office admin, but for this trip, I am Chukotka staff because I speak Russian and English. I know that they're very eager to learn what other countries are doing. Personally, I've been asked to kind of interpret because, they saw another teacher, and the teachers from the Russian Dell want to talk to the teachers from the Greenland Dell. So they're very curious, very open-minded, kind of trying to absorb as much as they can from the other cultures to bring it back home. So I think that's awesome, very neat. That they were very surprised to find that the dances are all the same. So I know we were greeted at the airport by dancers, and as soon as they saw it, they all started jumping in and they knew all the moves, so that was really neat. I guess they weren't expecting to merge so well. They knew all the moves, so that was awesome. They are singing a Russian folk song. It's called Moscow Nights. They have beautiful voices. All of them can sing. The men, the women, everyone loves singing. And then they're also going to do a dance. I think they might be collaborating with Alaska.
I'm here in Inuvik for multiple reasons because it's really a happening place right now. I came to town for the Great Northern Arts Festival last week, and I'm here for the Inuit Circumpolar Council General Assembly as well as the Northern Games. I'm working on an exhibition called Nunali, the place where we live, which covers the period from the 1950s to the very most recent artworks made by Inuit and Inuvialuit, reflecting their relationship to, of course, Nuna, the land. And in their artwork, they express that personal connection, that cultural connection, but also that historical one, because it is changing. And the elder artists give voice or vision to the type of experiences they had living on the land, right up to very recent works where artists are using their media to express concern about the environment and climate change and industry coming to the north. The artworks are by artists from across Canada, across the Arctic, from the Eastern Arctic right up to the Inuvialuit region, and many came from collections all over, but in particular we were able to borrow some key works from the Inuvialuit Regional Corporation, so the local artists are also really there and very present.
I made this piece with my helpers. I had, there were 3 artists from Nunavut that we worked on together. I brought down the artists and they did a 3 weeks residency at York. One of them was Ashuna, who made this piece. And Silas Pullout made the faces and Harpoon. And our sewing sealskin is Kathy Kunilusi from Broughton Island. This is called Aberdeen Bay Serpentine. It comes from Baffin Island, southern Baffin Island. I wanted to focus on the northern animals and people, so I kind of look way back how we started living thousands of years ago, and this has been around for thousands of years, and it feeds us. We hunt with it, and the man is providing food for the family, and the animals we eat are here, and it's on Inukshuk. It's been great. I'm happy to be part of such a big event, international, and it gives me an idea how it works, and great experience.
We will now adopt the Kitsurai with the declaration.
I felt a sense of satisfaction that we had reached, a significant milestone, because in my view, this is probably at this stage within ICC the most crucial ICC that we've had. We have a much more vibrant youth population, a younger generation that's up and coming, and they're expecting more of the leadership, and which is a positive thing because it demonstrates that they're willing to step up and be accountable and take part and contribute when and where they can as well.
When they were leaving at the airport, I didn't realize this. They had this big piece of paper that they got people to start signing up on it that basically says thank you, and they had pens there. And then they presented that with us. And when we see on Facebook afterwards, the number one thing they said they missed the most was the hospitality.
I really enjoyed working on the event because it happened so fast. You know, when you're planning, you know, you think, oh man, there's so much that's got to be done. How is this going to work? How's that going to work? At the end of it all, when it was done, I was tearing things down. I'm going, man, it's over already.
I hope they left with a better understanding of the Inuit culture and identity, our way of life, and you know, I would just hope that we're able to have these sort of activities more often. Not so much the need for the political debates, but the opportunity to bring Inuit together from every community to share in our culture more actively.